Starts out the fight.
Throws it for Amendola. Touchdown, Patriots!
Every year it happens. Someone drafted late or not drafted at all. They show up and start balling out and makes 31 other teams look foolish. From Tom Brady to Brock Purdy, Antonio Gates to Priest Holmes, history proves it. Where you get picked means nothing compared to what you do next. Today we're breaking down 5 potential rookie steals from the 2025 draft class who might just explode onto the scene and rewrite their scouting reports for good.
Tom Brady, the quarterback, all he did was lead this football team, put them in the right position.
Hey, buddy, this is John Lynch from the 49ers.
Select Brock Purdy, a quarterback from Iowa State.
Throwing into the end zone. Touchdown, Antonio Gates.
Before we dive into this year's rookie steals, let's talk about how often the NFL gets it wrong. Because for every first-round pick that flames out, there's a guy drafted late or not at all who rewrites the script. Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round in 2000 and went on to become the greatest quarterback in NFL history. Priest Holmes went undrafted in 1997 and won the rushing title just 4 years later, and Antonio Gates, the career touchdown leader for tight ends, never even played football in college. 2 of these guys are already in the Hall of Fame, and all 3 proved the same thing. Where you're drafted doesn't define where you finish.
We were the best in the world, and history will never forget that.
And in 2025, we're betting at least one of these next 5 rookies will keep that tradition alive. And if you love underdog stories as much as we do, hit like and subscribe after the video. Now, in every draft, there's at least one guy who gets snubbed, who doesn't hear his name called, who doesn't walk across that stage, or even get that phone call until after round 7 ends. This year, one of those guys was Xavier Restrepo.
Relentless competitor, best way to describe him. Every time he gets an opportunity, every snap, he tries to dominate his opponent.
Go to the end zone, Restrepo!
How good has Xavier Restrepo been with the U on his helmet?
And Tennessee might have just stolen a flat-out baller with that pick.
Well, look, we're excited to have you, man, and we'll get in contact with you with all the details for us when you come and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
We'll get in contact with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Ready to work.
At the University of Miami, Restrepo worked his way from rotational player to go-to target to one of the most reliable slot receivers in college football.
Sometimes you got to tell him to chill out and not work so hard. That's how much he wants it.
At Miami, Restrepo didn't put up empty stats. He meticulously stacked production every year he was at South Beach. By the time he wrapped up his college career, Xavier had set the Miami Hurricanes receiving records for catches in a season at 85, career receptions at 200, and career yardage at 2,844. Those numbers are better than Reggie Wayne, better than Santana Moss, and better than Michael Irvin. He is also 4th in career touchdowns at Miami with 21, to go along with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in 2023 and 2024. It's not a stretch to say that Xavier Restrepo is the best wide receiver to ever play at the University of Miami. That's impressive to say the least, but here's the thing. Unlike those other guys, Restrepo's game isn't about highlight reels. It's about reliability.
Guess who? Mr. Reliable, Xavier Restrepo!
In 2024, playing with Cam Ward at quarterback, Restrepo put up his best season yet with 69 catches for 1,127 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's 16.3 yards per catch from the slot.
Restrepo over the middle to the 5, into the end zone.
House call, Xavier Restrepo.
And now Ward and Restrepo are teammates again, this time with the Tennessee Titans. The chemistry's already built, the timing is already there, and with Tennessee rebuilding its offense around Ward, Restrepo's shot at making the 53-man roster feels very real. The Titans signed him as an undrafted free agent, but by the time we hit October, don't be surprised if Restrepo's catching passes in live games and helping keep drives alive in Nashville. Undrafted? Sure. Overlooked? For now, but we're predicting that won't last long, especially if Treylon Burks can't shake the injury bug and stay on the field in 2025. Next up is one of the most productive and overlooked running backs in this entire draft class.
With the 184th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Devin, Neal, running back, Kansas. Welcome to the team.
Devin Neal was born and raised in Lawrence, Kansas, just a few blocks from the stadium where he'd eventually become a star. At the University of Kansas, he became a rare dual-sport athlete, playing for both the Jayhawks football team and the baseball team, before eventually focusing full-time on football after his sophomore year. That's when he absolutely took off.
From the 31 of Arizona State,
Neal to the house, touchdown Kansas.
By the end of his college career, Neal had rushed for more than 4,300 yards and scored 49 rushing touchdowns. For 4 straight seasons at Kansas, Neal wasn't just good, he was the offense. Let's start with the numbers. 4,343 career rushing yards, 711 receiving yards, and 53 total touchdowns. Neal left Lawrence, Kansas with a career average of 5.7 yards per carry. That isn't a small sample size. That's 4 years of workhorse production in the Big 12. In 2024 alone, he rushed for 1,266 yards, added 254 receiving yards, and found the end zone 17 times. That's over 1,500 yards from scrimmage in a Power 5 conference. And on a Kansas team that wasn't exactly Alabama in the trenches, if you know what I mean. By comparison, from 2022 to 2024, Neal had more total rushing yards, receiving yards, and total touchdowns than North Carolina's Omarion Hampton, who was the second running back taken in the 2025 draft. But what makes Neal more than just a stat compiler is his vision, balance, and tackle-breaking consistency.
And it's Neal, touchdown.
Neal's lateral quickness makes linebackers miss in space. His low center of gravity helps him finish runs, and his pass-catching chops are sneaky good at 77 career receptions with a near 10 yards per catch average his senior year. But here's why this matters for 2025. Neal landed with the New Orleans Saints, a team in the middle of a quiet but very real backfield transition. This isn't a Sean Payton designed roster anymore. It's Kellen Moore's offense now, with the former Eagles offensive coordinator taking over as head coach in New Orleans. And if last year's run-heavy blueprint with Saquon Barkley was any indication, the Saints are about to lean hard on the ground game, especially if rookie Tyler Shuck starts at quarterback. Moore wants balance, physicality, and backs who can grind out tough yards, catch passes in space, and keep the offense on schedule. Yes, Alvin Kamara is still there, but he's entering his 9th season at age 30 and coming off a year where he had the second highest number of carries in his career, but his 4th lowest yards per tote. The burst isn't quite the same, and it seems like the workload is starting to catch up. And the only thing between Devin, Neal, and some first-team reps should Kamara get injured again in 2025 is Kendre Miller, a 2023 third-rounder who's flashed in small doses but hasn't proved he can carry the load in the NFL. That opens the door, and Neal is built to walk through it. In 2025, Kellen Moore and the Saints are going to need fresh legs, versatility, and someone who can play all 3 downs if needed. Neal brings all that and more.
Yeah, Devin was a really attractive guy during the draft process. Just his production, the person. I feel like we got a guy who's just got a great feel for the game, and so excited to team up with him.
If there's a rookie who fits the mold of quietly takes over a backfield by November, he's the one drafted by the Saints. Don't expect flash, don't expect viral highlights, but expect this. By the time December rolls around and Saints fans are wondering who's keeping the offense on schedule during Kamara's rest days, the answer just might be Devin Neal. Some wide receivers climb their way into draft conversations with stats, others with polish, and then there are ones like Dante Thornton who stay in the conversation for years because of tools you simply cannot teach.
He's 3 years older than Heupel. Long throw down the field. Dante Thornton.
A 4-star recruit with national offers, Thornton could have gone almost anywhere. But it was Oregon that won the sweepstakes, and that's where this winding football journey truly began. In 2 seasons with the Ducks, Thornton flashed exactly what scouts expected. Deep speed, big play flashes, and the kind of contested catch upside that makes defensive coordinators lose sleep.
The ends were coming. Nick snaps it off. Middle of the field. There it is. Dante Thornton.
But the breakout never quite arrived in Eugene. Inconsistent usage, quarterback turnover, and an offensive system that never fully unlocked his strengths. So after 2022, Thornton entered the transfer portal, looking for a reset. And he found it at Tennessee, a program known for aggressive vertical passing concepts and a coaching staff unafraid to let wide receivers stretch the field.
Here it's Tennessee, so, we're going to get the best guys here. That's just every year. Every time we're out there, it's competition. Nobody has a spot, nobody's comfortable. We're all working to get better.
It was there in Knoxville where Thornton's upside finally started turning into real production.
Dante, putting him outside, he was just more comfortable originally right from the snap with it. That's why he played really well out there. He had his best game of the season by far.
Iamaleava taking a deep shot, got a receiver, and it's caught inside the 30. Dante Thornton into the end zone.
If you were building a wide receiver in a lab, you'd start with Dont'e Thornton's measurements: 6'5", 205 pounds, and a verified 4.3 40 time.
4.3 flat.
That's not a typo, and that's not even wishful thinking. That's what Thornton actually brings to the table before he even runs a route. For 4 years, he was football's favorite riddle, the traits guy, the what-if prospect, all ceiling, waiting for the floor to catch up. But in 2024 at Tennessee, things finally started to click. As a senior on Rocky Top, Thornton posted 661 yards and 6 touchdowns on just 26 catches. That's an eye-popping 25.4 yards per reception and 1 touchdown every 4 catches. Every reception was a chunk play, every target was a threat to flip the field, and this wasn't some fluky one-season wonder. Across his college career split between Oregon and Tennessee, Thornton finished with 65 receptions, 1,426 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Some receivers grind their way to production with volume. Thornton did it with violence and separation speed, and he had an ability to climb the ladder over defensive backs like they were folding chairs in his way. Now he's a Las Vegas Raider drafted late on day 3.
Dont'e is a unique in terms of he's just a hair under 6'5", and he ran 4.3. There's not a lot of humans on this planet that do that.
But he's stepping into a depth chart where opportunity isn't a possibility, it's a reality. Davante Adams is gone, now in Los Angeles with the Rams, and the Raiders' receiver room is wide open. This is a team rebuilding its identity with Geno Smith now under center, a quarterback with plenty of NFL experience and a deep ball touch that fits exactly what Thornton does best. Geno's not here to dink and dunk, he's here to launch the ball, and Thornton might just become his favorite target downfield. To be fair, Dont'e Thornton isn't a polished technician yet. His route tree is still growing, his releases still need refinement, and yes, he'll need to prove he can separate against NFL corners, not just college seconds. But when you're 6'5" with his kind of long speed, you don't have to run a perfect slant to change a game. All it takes is one clean release, one busted coverage, and one quarterback willing to let it fly, and suddenly Thornton's on every highlight reel in America. The Raiders didn't draft him for 7-yard outs, they drafted him for 50-yard haymakers. They drafted him for momentum shifters, for field-flipping plays, for exactly the kind of vertical violence this offense was missing post-Adams. And if you're looking for this year's how did he fall that far receiver story, you're looking at him, because Dont'e Thornton's upside is still climbing, and if he puts it all together, this pick could end up being one of the biggest steals of the 2025 NFL Draft.
Okay, so that's the first half of our countdown of the 5 NFL rookies that could find a way into starting lineups and possibly even explode onto the scene in 2025. Check out part 2 for the conclusion of this list. And hey, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and smash the subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.